feet. Did you? I was on my tiptoes, so I didn't listen. Still on a chair.
Stand up quickly and then make it really awkward. When we did the practice,
Thank you, Mr. Macon, and our Ithaca High School Orchestra. I'd ask the audience to please stand for the singing of the national anthem, and I appreciate that you all rise. We ask that you remain standing for the Ithaca High School alma mater song, Our Ithaca, composed by IHS graduate Michael Stern.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Far beneath the pathways of Cornell and the college high up on South Hill, there lies a school in Ithaca where the youngest minds are filled with inspiring words and knowledge, innovation, creativity. So much to learn from Ithaca. Education is our creed. Our Ithaca, diverse yet unified. Our Ithaca, we stand and sing with pride. For our love of friendships made dear, and of dreams we've yet to see unfold. Our hearts belong to Ithaca, and the future still untold. We will always love our Ithaca, the home of red and gold. The red and gold.
Thank you, Ms. Zariski and the Ithaca High School Choir. You may be seated. A few notes of instruction before we begin this evening. As we heard from the Ithaca College PA announcement, that please notice the exits in the back. And also up here on the front, there's a photo taking area next to the chorus risers to the right of the stage, and I'm pointing to one family member. How many? One family member is welcome to take a photo of his or her graduate crossing the stage, but we ask that you please return immediately to your seat once your graduate has left the stage. This will allow for everyone to get that shot that they want to have. Please allow all graduates to proceed immediately from the stage to the diploma table and back to their seats. Fair enough? Fair enough? I'm Mr. Trumbull. I'm your MC for this evening. Welcome. That said, it's my pleasure to welcome all of you to our 142nd Ithaca High School graduation. A few special thank yous as we get underway. Thank you to Superintendent Dr. Brown, members of the ICSD executive team, and our Board of Education members present this evening, Bradley Granger, Eldred Harris, Nicole Lefebvre, Moira Lang, and Chris Malcolm. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Warming up. Just save those hands and those forearms. I also think it's important to give a nice round of applause to the guy that makes so many events happen for our students. Let's hear it for the man, the myth, the machine. That's Mr. Carl Melander. So let's get on with our ceremony. 2 years ago, the class of 2015's chapter of National Honor Society introduced a program called Pages Through the Ages. This program asks each of the graduating seniors to welcome an incoming kindergartner with a children's book and a personalized message. Today, we continue that wonderful tradition. Our graduates have written a message to ICSD's newest and youngest students in the hopes of encouraging them to read as much as possible. Seniors, please show us your pages through the ages. Thank you, class of 2017. And now speaking for the class will be Senior Class Vice President Yalori Arwelli.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of people here. Okay. Everything must change. Nina Simone said that. But I don't think everything should. In 18 years, we've come far. We all started small, some in different cities, some in different nations. I like to think about my humble beginnings at Northeast Elementary School. Every morning, I would run to the bus stop, beyond excited to master my times tables and read the latest Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. Every experience was new, and I wanted to take it all in. We all had unbridled curiosity in the world and the way it worked. We strove to gain knowledge. As we step into the next stages of our lives, this is something I hope never changes. We left 5th grade for middle school, and it was a transition to say the least. We were ushered in looking like newborn giraffes, awkward and not quite grasping the idea of standing on our own 2 feet. But over those 3 years, we grew. We joined sports teams, expanded our friend groups, our ideas, our opinions. We figured out our gifts. I stopped playing the trombone. I knew my strengths. And eventually we reached 8th grade, where we were getting ready to take another leap into another school, another transition, another drop on the totem pole. Looking back, I think something crucial happened at the end of 8th grade, when we got to choose our classes for our upcoming freshman year. Yeah, you basically had no choice with the course requirements, but still, options, regents, honors, humanities, a fine arts course, and something you were actually interested in. It was the beginning of us exploring our possibilities and a taste of what the world, and consumerist America, had for us. Options, choices, opportunities. On to high school. I was excited about entering high school. Having 2 older siblings who had already braved the IHS hallways, I felt I had some tips to success already. I knew there was no upstairs K, I knew not to step foot in H courtyard, and I knew to join as many clubs and teams as possible. Remember that first day when Mr. Melander was telling us to take advantage of all the extracurriculars we could? Well, he was right. How many of us forged amazing friendships through clubs like Brain Team, Model UN, Tiddlywinks, and Pay It Forward Club? I know I did. For some, sports or theater was a huge friendship starter in our high school career. As we grow older, I suggest we all continue to pursue our passions and random interests, even if they're outside our primary focus in life. In doing so, doors will open and relationships will be created. Now, many of you are sitting there like, okay, Laura, we get it. You had an excellent high school experience. Difficult isn't even in your vernacular. And to that I say, let me tell you about the infamous junior year. From the intense workload to working at TJ Maxx to trying to participate in extracurriculars while maintaining a solid GPA, it was hard. Impossible. Mind-numbing. Sleep deprivation became the norm, and it was this year I started my motto of saying, sleep is for the weak, often at 2 a.m. The dark circles under my eyes became the only accessory I wore to school. I know many of you can relate. In essence, the struggle was real. The A-push struggle was real, and I worked very hard to read Eric Foner, and I feel like I aged 10 years. The AP Chem struggle was real, as I tried to understand thermodynamics from Torrey. Update, I still don't get it. The struggle of waking up in the morning to go to class office meetings was real. I often found myself wanting to crumble on the floor and just sleep for a few days. Some of us had even more challenges: financial struggles, the loss of family members, illness, and other hardships. But we all worked and cried and complained, and together we toiled through the year. That grit and determination should never change. Finally, we reached our senior year, and many of us thought that the hard work was done. We were wrong. Personally, I underestimated the beast that is the Common App and college applications. Now, many of us and our parents were on top of it early and started in the summer. But I know I waited as long as I could to get started on what I would call a labor of love. Actually, more like a labor of desperately trying to get admitted. I now must take a moment to thank my wonderful family, who spent countless hours editing my essays and endless supplements to make me sound like a witty, interesting, qualified applicant. Not to mention paying those ridiculous application fees. I mean, I literally paid $80 for a rejection letter from Harvard. Anyways, I truly, truly could not have done it without them. And once applying was over, it wasn't over, lest we forget about actually being accepted. But again, we did it, with some help. We need to thank the teachers who put up with our late work, wrote glowing letters of recommendation, and pushed us to be better scholars. One special thank you goes out to Mr. Melander, who has organized more events and programs than you will ever know. We can't forget about the administration, who gave us the resources we needed throughout the years to achieve our potential. And once again, a huge thanks to our families who have stood by our side every step of the way. They have been amazing. Our graduation is as much a celebration of us as it is a show of gratitude to them. Let's give them all a round of applause. So what's next, now that we made it? Some of us have plans to either further our education in college or go into the workforce right away, or travel the world. Others are undecided. The other day, my mom asked me if I was scared. Truthfully, I'm terrified. We live in a tumultuous time where terrorism and fear are widespread, and it feels like we have no control. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't even have a credit card. I feel like the other day I just learned how to do laundry, and I have to step out into this political climate. But as frightened as I am, I'm equally confident in each and every class of 2017 senior. Why? Because I've never seen a more socially aware, outspoken, forward-thinking, intelligent, and driven group of young people. What class has its own, okay, yeah. What class has its own amazing band who has graced the stage at prom and winter formal? Class of 2017. What class has its own brand designer whose famous logo is on our senior merchandise? Class of 2017. Who made a rainy, dreary senior trip still a fun event? Class of 2017. Within our class, I believe we have visionaries, Olympians, future Grammy winners, and the next Steve Jobs. So let's go make our APs regret writing us up. Let's go make our parents proud. Let's go make these past 12 years of education count. Let's go out in the world and grab all the opportunities it has to offer, because something should never change. Congratulations, class of 2017, we made it.
Thank you, Yalori. Now speaking for the Ithaca High School class of 2017 will be Senior Class President, Mr. James Yoon.
I am honored to be with you today at our commencement. I used to have a problem of overthinking about the future. The future in particular, because with everything else, I just don't think. My mind is unhinged. But whenever something came up, say a job interview, I spent time worrying about what could go wrong instead of preparing for it. I think it's because I feared that things won't happen the way I expected. I'm sure you relate because now we have the rest of our lives ahead of us. It's kind of spooky, good God. If you're at all anxious about the future, here's a story that might help. I was born and raised in South Korea. 8 years ago, my family came to Ithaca seeking educational opportunity. We only planned to stay for 1 year. However, the year flew by and we faced a crucial decision. Were we gonna stay? We fell in love with Ithaca and the education it had to offer. And there's nothing quite like Wegmans, am I right? But we worried staying could be a mistake. There were far too many uncertainties. The safe route would have been to continue our lives in Korea. But what decision were we making? One based on fear or love? We could have called the whole thing quits, agonizing over our pathway to the future. But a path based on fear is disguised as comfort and practicality. So we took a chance, and we're still here. I'm just wondering how I deserve to stand before you. As class president for the past 4 years, I owe everyone my deepest gratitude for being lenient and patient with me. I mean, I'm not about to lie and say I ever knew what I was doing. Come on, what did I really do before, like this year? Can't recall much. I guess that makes me the second worst president ever. The worst president, by the way, is the president of the IHS Pet Small Animals Every Single Day Club. They never came through. Side note, this goes out to all the underclassmen who are here. That was my idea, all right? Can I please take credit for just one thing? That could be my lasting legacy. But seriously, I couldn't be more proud to be standing before Ithaca's class of 2017. You, once non-existent in my little world, have become my entire world. You, whose names I couldn't even pronounce 10 years ago, or who I can now call my dearest friends and family. What brought each of our worlds together was beyond our control. Instead, there were the little coincidences that life threw at us, despite our uncertainties about what else life will have to offer. And being uncertain is okay, because the only certainty there is that nothing is for certain. That might make us feel uneasy, but the unpredictable moments in our lives are where new relationships form and new lessons are learned. But life won't simply happen for us. We must open our minds to change and new opportunities, and once the doors open, we walk straight through. It will be hard to keep that in mind when things get tough. Just know this: there will be another door, always. We move forward, accept the uncertainties, and hold on to our deepest gems, our friends, family, and everyone else who made an impact on our lives, including that one guy you can rely on when you procrastinate on your homework or your graduation speech. Thank God for that guy. Ithaca High School's teachers, staff, and families are the gorges and the Finger Lakes of our lives, the soil and water in which we have planted our roots and from which we will sprout as an ever-growing tree. Class of 2017, let's give a round of applause for our teachers who believed in us. Let us give a round of applause for our parents and guardians who tirelessly nurture us. Let's give a round of applause for Mr. Carl Melander, Commander Melander. He makes it happen. Round of applause. Lastly, let's give a huge round of applause for each other for having grit and sticking together through setbacks and celebrations. Congratulations, class of 2017. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, James. I'd now like to welcome to the stage Senior Class Secretary Josh Slusar and Treasurer Myrnal Thomas to present the IPEI Senior Class Awards and to introduce this year's graduation speaker. Josh and Myrnal.
IPEI, or the Ithaca Public Education Initiative, every year funds awards given to recipients chosen by the senior class. These awards are given to a new teacher that illustrates creativity and enthusiasm, a non-teaching staff member who has a positive impact on student life, and a club or student organization that is central to the IHS life. This year, the IHS Student Organization Award has been given to the Tatler. The Tatler is a student news organization. Hold your applause. The Tatler is a student news organization that provides student-made content on a variety of topics to both the student body and the community in general. And it's really important to what IHS is all about because the Tatler gives students a voice and an opportunity to express their opinions. And could those in the audience or the seniors who are members of the Tatler please stand up? Let's give them a round of applause. Also this year, the IHS Non-Teaching Staff Member Award has been given to Brenda Sullivan. Let's give her a round of applause.
The new teacher award for this year goes to Mr. Jonathan Shine. And now we have the honor of introducing our commencement speaker for tonight, Mr. Christopher Carver.
Good evening, class of 2017. Thank you so much for inviting me here to speak tonight. There are not too many ways to get recognition in this job, and it means a tremendous amount to me to be invited to share a couple minutes on stage with you tonight. Thank you so much. It's been great getting to know all of you this year, and I can say honestly that I've never enjoyed working with a group of students more than those of you in front of me tonight. It does, of course, raise the question, what valuable advice can I give you about life? Or in other words, do you really want to be more like me? I think it's a fair question. I'm 32 years old. I have been divorced. I work a job. I struggle to make enough money to live with dignity in this town. Partially, it's a result of the conscious choice I made when I switched from a previous career into teaching, and partially it's the result of being an Ithaca teacher specifically. It's unfortunate, but I want you to know that Ithaca teachers make significantly less than the overwhelming majority of teachers in both our region and our state. Every year, I lose friends and colleagues to surrounding districts. I just found out 2 weeks ago that another colleague will leave this year. She has a few years less experience than I do. She's an amazing teacher. She'll move to a district slightly north of us to make more than $11,000 more per year next year. It's really disheartening for me. In fact, it makes me feel foolish sometimes to stick around as long as I have, on the one hand. On the other hand, I have had a number of experiences that I hope I can draw on to give you meaningful advice tonight. I've been lucky enough to travel and have seen a reasonable cross-section of the world. I have work experience outside of teaching as well as within it. I became a homeowner last year after 10 years of renting. In my 7 years at Ithaca High School, I've gained seniority over more than half of my 16-member social studies department, and I now have a leadership role in the Ithaca Teachers Union as a vice president. Most importantly, I've gained from the perspective of teaching more than 1,000 students in 7 years and watching them graduate. With that in mind, I've prepared 3 pieces of what I see as practical life advice to share with you during our last few minutes together. Make of it what you will. Number 1, and most cliche, the best things in life aren't things. On the surface, it's a silly and overused quote that you frequently see. I personally believe it's both true and important to keep in mind for all kinds of life situations. In a really simple example, I bought a car this week. It's a decision I've been researching carefully for months and planning a budget, etc. But a couple weeks ago, my next door neighbor also got a new car, a particularly nice one. It's an Audi Q5. And without even realizing it, my whole thought process around my car changed. I dismissed things that was pretty sure I wanted to do. It's like a subconscious process. It's so easy to fall into. I think that we as Americans spend so much time, effort, and emotion on things. Clothes and shoes and cars, electronic gadgets, etc., as well as comparing the relative quantities of those things that we have to others. And I don't think any of it makes us happier. What really matters is the people in our lives, our relationships with others, and the experiences we have over our lifetime. I have a relatively short frame of reference, but I don't think older folks look back on life and say things like, if only I had driven a nicer car, or I wish I had worked extra hours at my job. It's harder than you would think to keep that in mind. But if you can define yourself by more than your possessions, I think you'll be much happier in the long run. Thing two, people are much more similar than they are different. I've interacted with a sizable variety of people in my life, and this is one of the main takeaways I have from those interactions. Certainly, people are different and unique in many important ways and face unique challenges. But when I look at the state of the world today, I find myself reflecting on the similarities more and more. I also think it's true on many different scales: local, national, and international. At the international level, I've been privileged enough to do a fair amount of travel. When I was in Ethiopia, I interacted with some of the poorest people I've seen in one of the least developed countries in the world. When I was in Turkey, I was immersed in a Muslim culture for the first time. I witnessed individuals, families, and children huddled on the shores of beach towns and resorts on Greek islands as they desperately tried to flee the violence in places like Syria and Eritrea. All the people I have met abroad are fundamentally like us. They are multifaceted, smart, and kind. They have a sense of humor and powerful generosity. They want safety and security and a better life for their families in exactly the same way as we do. On a national scale, we are divided more than ever before. People in power would have us focus on differences in religion, race, gender, sexual orientation, and immigrant status, to name just a few, rather than the overwhelming majority of factors that unite us as people and as human beings. Locally, I like to think we're doing better. And indeed, many important steps have been taken both by our town and our school district to be more inclusive. And it's one of the reasons that makes me very happy to call this place home. However, to be honest, I still see a city that's divided by socioeconomic status and neighborhoods, and I see the effect that has in school on social groupings and sometimes student achievement. At the high school, we often separate students into Regents, honors, and AP classes. This has some advantages, but tends to create problematic misconceptions over time. The divide is real enough that many of you will not recognize a significant number of your peers as they cross the stage tonight. I want you to know that one of my favorite parts of my job is that I get to teach at all three levels. I teach Regents Economics and Honors Economics and AP Human Geography. My students this year are a wonderfully diverse group. You are rich and poor, urban and rural. You are recent immigrants and lifelong Ithacans, and so many things in between. Many of you are liberal, some of you are conservative, and some of you, admirably, are still taking your time to make up your mind. I am convinced that while you have unique attributes and face unique challenges, you are all equal in your intelligence and creativity, your potential, and your awesomeness. Thing number 3, you're going to need to get a job. It's the worst. For some of you, it might be right away. Others will spend a while in school first. Choosing a career path is really hard, in my opinion. The straightforward advice is to do something you love and follow your heart. And I think that's probably good advice, but I'm not sure it's 100% practical. The flip side of that is you need somebody else to be willing to pay you for your time and what you do. When I was in your shoes, I thought hard about what job I could look forward to doing every day for the next 30 plus years of my life. And I didn't come up with anything. So I went to college because it seemed like the next step, and I studied economics because I found it absolutely fascinating. It led me briefly to a career in the banking industry before I decided to reshuffle everything and become a teacher. I do want you to know that I love my job. Not everything I do, and not all the time. There are some parts, difficult situations, there are some bureaucratic challenges, and spending my nights and weekends grading is always a burden. Working with you, however, is specifically what makes my job worth it for me. I find you to be inspiring, insightful, fresh, and intriguing. Sometimes you're frustrating. You're amazingly talented and deeply thought-provoking. I have learned so much from the experiences, perspectives, and questions of my students over the years. I can't honestly recommend that you become a teacher, but I encourage you to think carefully about a career that will be meaningful to you. My hope is that you can find a job that provides you with the same sense of purpose, pride, and inspiration that I find in working with students every day. In short, my wish for you is not that you go on to do great things. I'm not really even sure what that means. Instead, my hope and goal and aspiration for you is that you are happy and healthy, and that you find small ways on a regular basis to make your community and our world a better place. Class of 2017, from the bottom of my heart, I love you all. Farewell.
And now the IHS Choir will perform Bridge Over Troubled Water by Paul Simon and arranged by Kirby Shaw. Please welcome back Miss Kristen Zariski and the IHS Choir.
I'll be your bridge or troubled water. When you're down, I will carry you like a bridge or troubled water. I will lay me down. When you're weary down, I will carry you like a bridge or troubled water. I will lay me down.
Thank you, Ms. Zariski and Ithaca High School Choir. At this point, I'd like to ask the graduating class of 2017 to please stand. Superintendent Brown, will you please make your way to the podium? Dr. Brown, the members of the Ithaca High School class of 2017 have met the requirements for a diploma as specified by New York State Board of Regents and the Ithaca Board of Education. Will you please accept and address the graduating class at this time?
Yes, I will, Mr. Trumbull. Please have a seat. Class of 2017. Mr. Trumbull and I were having a conversation on the phone today about y'all. And we've had conversations about y'all every day for the last 6 years, Mr. Trumbull. See, Mr. Trumbull was your principal when you were sixth graders at Boynton until today. And the conversation today went much like the conversations we've had every day about y'all. There's something about this class. What is it about y'all? Cole, Sydney, Jordan, Nas, Kyrie. See, I could go on. It's no secret, this group of young people, and I've been a professional educator for more than 20 years, from volunteering, changing Pampers in a pre-K classroom till today, I've loved every moment of it. But I gotta tell you, you are my favorite group of young people of all time. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. What is it about y'all? Mr. Trumbull and I were talking today. And see, I've been talking to him a lot today, trying to keep him from crying. And he's almost through this ceremony without crying yet. And we talked and we reflected. See, we now realize what it is about y'all. You've taught us so much. You've given us so much. You've shown us, you've taught us patience. You've asked us to be patient with you. You've needed to be patient with us. You've showed us what dedication looks like and feels like. You've asked us to trust you, and we have. You've shown us humility. See, you've taught us so much. We've grown so much together. And tonight I just want to say thank you for that. And just one challenge, and I'm going to sit down. One challenge for you. Wherever you go tomorrow and beyond, whatever school you choose to go to, whatever job you take, whatever organization you work for, whatever relationship you enter into, demand of those folks and expect of them what you expected and demanded of us. So you expected and demanded that we love you, and we do. And all I want for you is to demand that for every person that you interact with for the rest of your lives, that they love you like we do. Congratulations, class of 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Now could I have Board of Education member Moira Lang, would you please address the class of 2017?
Better talk into the mic. Congratulations, class of 2017 of the Ithaca High School, which is what Mr. Trumbull always likes to say. I'm honored to be here. I have a very long and proud connection to Ithaca schools, but especially to IHS. I spent 25 years as an English teacher at Ithaca High School. During that time, I worked with an amazing group of colleagues, many of whom are here tonight, and still working with you folks in the Ithaca City School District. Among them are Mr. Jason Trumbull and the man, the myth, the machine, Mr. Carl Melander. Those guys were humble, dedicated, inspiring classroom teachers back when I was at IHS. That's before they reached the dizzying heights that they've achieved to this point. Many of the folks that you've worked with in Ithaca schools were my students before they were my colleagues. That includes Eva Hefner, guidance counselor, behind me, Ursula Hilsdorf, Sophie Gluck, Lauren Trishon, Andrew Lesser, and English teacher Gina Mattio was my student teacher, which means I taught her everything she knows. And Sarah Ostrom was in my homeroom, which must also mean I taught her everything she knows. And in my first year at Ithaca High School, and I won't say when that was, I had the pleasure of teaching in the same class, English 11, phys ed teacher Jody Madron, and stack championship winning basketball coach Brian Stone. Jody was my favorite, but don't tell Coach Stone. I left Ithaca for 4 years, and then I came back, and 2 years ago I reconnected with Ithaca Schools by joining the board. Since then, as I go around the district, I keep running into former students of mine who are working in the district, in classrooms, in offices, in cafeterias, on the fields. And many of them are connected to ICSD because they're now parents of students in our school district. And that brings me back to you, finally. So many of you are about to leave for more education, work, other adventures. Some of you will plan to stay here, at least for now, but you won't have the same daily connection with the schools that you've had, many of you, for almost your entire lives. But my experience tells me that many of you will be back, and you will reconnect with Team ICSD, and you'll be working in the classrooms, in the offices, on the fields, in the cafeterias. And I urge you to do that. Also, you will be back and connected as parents of students in our schools. I know that may sound surprising, even scary, but it happens faster than you think. And when you come back, there will be those you've known and worked with here who will be welcoming you back with open arms. In the meantime, whether you're away or you're busy, try to pay a little bit of attention to what's happening in the schools here. Vote on the budget and for Board of Education seats. That's the third Tuesday in May, and you can always get an absentee ballot. And who knows, in 20 years, Dr. Brown may be ready to retire, and one of you could take his place. Anybody want to throw your name in now? Congratulations again to the class of 2017 of the Ithaca High School.
I told you at the beginning of the ceremony after the instructions that I was simply the MC, so that now concludes the speech portion of this evening. You can applaud. And we move to the active portion of this evening, so here we go. This is the moment that brought Mr. Baker out and everybody else this evening. So here we go. You ready? Will the senior class please come forward to receive their diplomas? Reading student names will be the school counselors, Ms. Cass Billick, Ms. Maria Torres, Ms. Daniel Murphy, Ms. Sharon Gublo, and Ms. Eva Hefner. This is where you may applaud, move. How many folks over in the picture area? One per family. Ms. Billick, we ready?
Ithaca High School's 2017 School President, James Yoon. Vice President, Yalore Arawele. Secretary, Joshua Slusar. Treasurer, Myrnal Thomas.
Herodania Abreu.
Denoshka Acosta. Austin Homer Adams. Accepting his diploma is Gwen Freeman, teacher extraordinaire. Shaimik Tyree Adams. Lydia Ruth Albanese. Krishna Joaquim Antoine. Jake Avery. Jordan Alonzo Ayers. Victoria Monique Aika. Sophia Wendy Babiak.
Rebecca Monique Barrett.
Cairo Barnett St. Louis V. Rowan Orrin Baxter Martin. Devin Avery Baylor. Sophie Kona Beecraft. James Quinn Bador. Harman Singh Benapal. Noel Bentley. Talia Marley Benzer Schumann. Carmen Esther Besner Care. Did I? Alicia Ann Biscup. Rory Bodenstein. Eamon James Bollinger. Alina Alexandrovna Bolt. Terrence Raymond Brand. Cecilia Brown.
Kyrie Brown. Sarah Brown.
Anika May Browning. Edward St. Clair Buckler V. Carmen Henry Capilongo. Crystal Marie Castleberry. Kathea Veronica Castillo. Eunice Chen. Kevin Wei Chen. Sinchi Chen. Sophia Elizabeth Claval. Isabel Angeline Camella. Rafaela Camasana. Benjamin Moses Cook. Tyler Joseph Cornell. Sophia Naomi Catraccia. Sarah Eve Couillard. Lily Catherine Cowan. Theodore Joseph Cowett. Jeremy Michael Coyle. James Anthony Cronin.
Allison Nicole Cross.
Kimberly Colleen Crossan. Isabella Culata.
Jacob Zev Alexander Cummings. Rowan Faye Cusack Miller. Stephen Elijah D'Alterio. Joseph John Churi Damian. Leah Davis. Taylor Ann Day. Alexandra Jan DeRoos. Dylan Wales Dietz. Emmanuel Akin DeFore. Ainsley Vale Dunman. Turner William De Palma. Michela Despaniel Del Rio.
Cole Richard Eels. Kyle Warren Ellis. Elisa Margaret Elner. Lauren Eng. Tristan Engst. Zeke Bevington Estes. Declan George Fieran. Eliza Christine Ferdinando. Elena Marie Fine. Max Leon Fink. Aiden Frank Fitzpatrick. Alder Flecker. Reina Timberlake Friedman. Sebastian Xavier Fullerton. Teddy Galanti. Bronwyn Michaela Galloway. Hannah Grayson Garrett. Siddharth Gaverneni.
Mustafa Gaffer.
Gabriel Sindel Gibson. Perry Schaefer Goldberg.
Angela Marie Gambash.
Eli Jack Gordon. Cassidy Lee Gorski. Luca Aspen Grinspan.
Equasia Helene Griffin.
Cindy Guo. Taylor Habelow. Cameron Burns Hartman. Abdallah Hassan. Amanda Grace Heitzman.
Mariah Lene Henderson.
Christian Maxwell Henry. Jonas Charles Herman. Lucas Simon Herman. Erin Louise Hillgardner. Corinne Elena Hill James. Dwayne Tet. Wu Xiao Shun. Julian James Yacovelli. Jerry-Ann Judith Irisari. Alexander Michael Irwin. Cambria Reese Isvan. Zechariah Magnus Isvan. Sophia Izo. Martin Yander. Sarah Gian. Nicholas John.
Jenica Yalis.
Soren Young.
Dongtak Kang. Emma Jolie Carnes. Abigail Richmond Katz. Kie Kawate. Allison Kuh. Owen Edward Kelly. Salik Khan. Edward Van Buren Kiefer. Haben Kim. Jayoon Julian Kim. Quinn Hargraves Kingsley. Kevin Edward Claben. Neil Shashank Kolhakkar. William Patrick Korb. Mason Akira Korf. Chloe Celine Kroll. Jairus Michael Kuplin. Haley Lynn Labar. Nazir Du Bois Landis. Andrew James Latin. Abigail Mary Lee. Jung Yun Lee. Thomas John Leonard. Declan Casey Levine. Michael Anthony Loomis. Andres Byron Lopez Crane. Benjamin Nicholas Losey. Annie Phyllis Holland Laux. James Irby Steinmetz Lovett. Jacob George Lucas. Joanna S. Liu. Julia de Almeida Luna. Jackie Liu. Harper Lee Lyon. Matthew Jackson McKenzie. Jocasa Blaze Manasseh Lewis. Robert Amalai Mangan.
Thank you.
Sophia Ann Marenka. Galen Parker Martil. Duncan James McAllister.
Caitlin McBean.
Liam Eugene McCarthy. McRae Montana McCarthy. Raylyn Taylor Forrest McLeod. Bridget McCullough. Kiera Lynn McEver. Samuel Thomas McGarry. Grace Emma McGrath. Antonio Angel Mendez. Shai Meng. Taylor Kenneth Merritt. Abraham Larkin Messing. Alyssa Lee Miller. Nicholas John Miller. Cameron Avery Ray Mitchell.
Elon Mizrachi.
Elsa Quirk Mulkey. Hamza Mola. Jason David Moore. Michaela Charlene Moravik. Olivia Jean Moreland. Brianna Maria Musenti.
Cole James Newland.
Mark Paulovich Nikulin. Samantha Francine O'Connor. Austin Ryan Avery Oltz. Jonathan Orig. Corinne Nicole Orlowski. Tenzin Selden Osho. Gabriel Philip O.
Samuel Benjamin Paybody. Matthew Salvatore Pagliaro. Michaela Lynn Pagliaro. James Park. Sophie Scholl Partington. Alex David Patz. Juan Rafael Paulino. Alyssa Kalina Paulo. Thartkwa Paul. Caitlin Michelle Payne. Aiden Nicholas Peck. Helena Joy Pence. Jasmine Caitlin Peterson. Abraham Alassane Dico Phelan. Adam Jeffrey Phoenix. Hunter Walker Phoenix. Caitlin Julia Pinney. Chester Daniel Pollock. John Ignatius Powers III. Thomas William Rady. Alexander Hester Raguso. Lucy Myers Randall. Alexander Cooper Ratab. Kristen Elizabeth Reed. Elliot Anderson Richards. Dimitri Lopez Robinson. Benjamin Sung-Jun Rogers. David Joseph Rogers. Julia Christine Rutherford. Jack Francis Salmon. Benjamin Ward Solomon. Ruth Ioka Samuels. Harris Zane Schwab. Patrick Allen Scott. Austin James Severson.
Emma Shaw. Ruth Silkoff. Emily Jane Sine. Ethan Bradford Sin. Matthew Scott Scroven. Andrew Theodore Slattery. Cameron Keith Smitty Smith. Michaela Yan-Jin Snyder. Eso Tasso. Noah Thomas Sorensen. AJ Stensland. Look closer. Okay. Rachel Elvira Stevens. Renee Ann Stillwell. Andrew John Stone. Emma Louise Strotterman. Sandra Hazard Stromswald. Agnes Vienna Seidenstricker. Nimesh Tamang. Jediah Kafaune Tao. Caitlin Elizabeth Tannhauser. Emily Lauren Tilton. Wei Wei Tin. Alfredo Rafael Torres Casilla. Sydney Marie Trumbull.
Austin Scott Tursick.
All right. Jillian Turvey.
Garrett Douglas Huell.
Brandon Jackson Vaden. David Van Wyck. Griffin Verricchio.
Giovan Hector Velasquez.
You're done? Okay. Luisa Lima Vieira. Sophia Wagner. Amalia Walker. Well done. You do hard? Anna Wallace. Jason Gong Wang. Lena Elizabeth Weiss. Emma Rachel Weisberg. Cody David Westbrook. Casey Otis Weatherby. Luke Gabriel Weatherby. Leonard Willie Wiesner. Ian Wilkie Tomasic. Charlotte Margaret Williams. Sterling Chance Williams Cece. Alyssa Louise Witchy. Joshua Alexander Witchy. Grace Wolzanski. Nicholas Samuel Wolga. Chloe Lynn Ray. Daniel Shu. Almost. Phil Yan. Cecilia Daisy Yearsley. Lisa Yu. Lucia Mariana Younger. Ting Chu. Hannah Lynn Zimar.
Graduates, members of the class of 2017, I'm going to get everybody back. Families, we want to thank you for coming out and celebrating with us this evening. At this time, I'd like to ask the class of 2017 to please stand. Members of the class of 2017, I want you to place your right hand on your tassel. I want you to adjust that tassel to the left. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the Ithaca High School class of 2017 is officially graduated. Thank you and be safe going home.